Hi guys, and welcome back once again. In today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to draft a half scale bodice. Okay, I have a video on how to draft a full scale, but in this case I'm showing how to draft a half scale. So now I'm going to be inserting my standard neckline. Everybody has their own unique standard neckline. Okay, so I'm marking my neck width and my neck depth using my standard neckline. I also have a video on how to calculate to get your own standard neckline. Okay, so you may do well to see that video to get those measurements I've marked for my neck width and neck depth. So now I'm trying to create the neckline. Okay, so you just have to place your armhole curve, position it very well, and when you get your desired neckline you can trace it out. Can you see? So this is our neckline. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is to come down by 1 inch. That's for our shoulder slope, and my shoulder measurement was 16 inches. I divided that into 2, which gave me 8 inches. So I added ½ inch to it, making it 8.5. Okay, so that was what I marked for my shoulder line. Now I want to get the armhole depth. So calculating with my calculator, I divided my bust measurement by 6, then I added 1.5 to it. So after the calculation I got 8.1 inches, but I'll be marking 8 inches. That is approximately. Did you get? Okay, now that we have achieved that, I'm also inserting my shoulder measurement here so that I'll be able to create a very straight line. Okay, so this class is very beginners friendly. If you're a beginner and you don't know how to draft a half scale, I will advise you watch this video till the end so that you not miss any detail. So now connecting my lines to the side of the pattern. Okay, so now we are done with that. The next thing we are going to be doing is to impute our nipple to nipple measurement. Okay, that's the bust part. So for me, I'll be marking in 3.5. okay, 3.5 inches. So you just have to measure your nipple to nipple. That is how you are going to get this. Okay, that is how you are going to get your bust span. Now I've marked 3.5 on my bust point line there. That is my bust point line. I'm sorry I didn't I didn't write it out. And that also down there is my half length. Okay, my half length is 18 inches for the front, and I have 16 inches for the back. Okay, so guys, having that in mind, I'm going to mark my bust measurement. So my bust is 40 inches. Dividing that into 4, we are going to get 10 inches. So I marked it on my chest line there and also on my bust point line. Okay, now moving on to my waistline, I'm going to mark 9 inches. Okay, this is 36 divided by 4. Okay, so now we have our waistline and that of our bust. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to connect. I'm just cross checking. Okay, so it's good to cross check when you are not too sure of your marks. So the next thing is to connect the lines. So you see the way I'm connecting, so you connect like so. Okay, why my front? Because someone may ask, why is it that my front half length is 18 inches and my back half length is 16 inches? This is because of the protrusion of the breast in front. Okay, all right. So now at our armhole depth, now I'm going to divide this into 2. Remember, I marked 8 inches. I marked 8 inches initially, so dividing 8 inches by 2, that will give us 4 inches. Did you see that? Okay, so for the front, I'm going to come in by ½ inch. So you can come in by ½ inch or by 0.75. Okay, so now after marking that, I'm going to use my armhole cuff to connect these dotted lines. Okay, so I'll connect from my bust point, or rather my chest line there, up to the shoulder line. Okay, so just observe the way I'm creating my lines. Now moving on to the shoulder, I'm going to mark out ½ inch. This ½ inch, I'm going to use it for hemming allowance. This is hemming allowance. Okay, so I'm going to mark it in there and I'm going to connect. Now I don't normally do this, okay, but because I came down by 1 inch as my shoulder slope, that is why I'm inserting this hemming allowance. But in a situation where I just came down by ½ inch as my shoulder slope, that is to say I used ½ inch as my shoulder slope, I don't normally add this hemming allowance. Is that taken? Now at the neckline, I don't like adding hemming allowance at the neckline, so I will be leaving it this way. Okay, I hope you understand. All right, so that is that about that. All right, so now we are going moving on to the waistline. Okay, so now at the waistline, I'm going to mark ½ inch on that nipple to nipple line, the bust pan line there. Okay, I indicated ½ inch there. Now at the bust point line, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to connect my lines from the bust point to the waist, and I'm going to do it to the other side also. Okay, so just take note. I'm saying a lot of okay, but the thing is that I just want to make sure that you guys are following. Okay, all right, so this is it for the front. We are going to be moving on to the back pattern. So guys, this is the back. I'm just going to do everything I've done for the front. So I have my baseline as normal, and I have my 1 inch for zip allowance there, can you see, and I have my half length. Now I'm inserting my neckline. For the neck width, it still remains the same, but for the neck depth I use 1 inch. Okay, so take note of that. So now I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, just like we did for the front, and after that I'm going to insert my ½ inch also, right? Okay, so I'll insert my ½ inch and we'll connect the line, just the same thing that we did for the front. Okay, nothing special. Okay, but this back is going to have some little alterations. So now I'm marking in my armhole depth. Okay, you remember the measurement we use for the armhole depth, sorry, that is the same measurement you're going to use here, and you connect your lines just the same thing we did in the front. Okay, so that is it, connecting our lines together, and after that we are going to create our chest line. Now after doing that, I'm going to impute my bust measurement, which is 10 inches, and our waistline we marked 9 inches, if you guys can still remember. So now I'm going to connect my lines this way. Did you see that? And for the armhole for the back, take note how I drew my line. Did you see that? Okay, I didn't come in by any ½ inch whatsoever. Did you see that? So now trying to create my dart measurement, my dart. Okay, creating my dart. So from the baseline I came down by 8 inches, and I marked my 3.5 inches for the dart, half inches at the waistline there, and I connected my lines, and that is that for the dart, for the back dart. Now moving on to the alteration at the zip line here, I'm going to mark out ½ inch. This is to eliminate zipper bulge at the back. So if you want to eliminate the zipper bulge at the back of any dress you're making, be it half scale or full scale, you have to do this to prevent your zip from popping out. Okay, So in fashion, what we do is when you take, you give back. So this half inch that I've taken from this zip area, I'm going to add it back at the side. Okay, so I will not run shortage of anything whatsoever. So you add it back there at the side and you connect your lines. Okay, so because we are making this on pattern, we are not going to be adding any allowances. Okay, all right, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and also click on the notification bell for updates. Okay, so if you want to be seeing detailed videos, just subscribe to this channel and also click on the notification bell. All right, so guys, at this point I want you to go ahead and create your own half scale, half cut pattern paper. Keep it aside and wait for our next class, because I'll be using this same pattern to teach you guys how to create an off shoulder bodice. Okay, thanks for watching. See you on my next one.